Notice the pie on the left has 1/2 shaded, and let's say I wanted to add that piece to the piece of pie I had on the right, which has 1/4 shaded. So on this side I have 1/2. I wanted to add that to 1/4. Now, you might be able to figure this out in your head, but there is one way that would make it quite a bit easier on us. Let's split this first pie up into 4 pieces to match the 4 pieces with the right pie. Now we see that this 1/2 is actually 2 of the 4 pieces. So here we have 2/4 plus, here we have the 1/4. And now we know 2/4 plus our 1/4 over here. Total we're going to have 3/4. And that's the essence of adding and subtracting fractions. Your first goal is to get common denominators. In this case we have 4. And your second goal would then be to add or subtract the numerators, which we did here, 2 plus 1, which gave us 3. Let's do a couple examples. Here we have 7/5 minus 3/5. So our first goal is common denominators. Well, we have a denominator of 5 here, a denominator of 5 here. They are already common. So we can move on to the next step, which would be to subtract, since we have a minus sign, subtract the numerator. So here we have 7 minus 3. We know that is going to give us an answer of 4, and our denominator is going to always stay the same, 4/5. So 7/5 minus 3/5 equals 4/5. Okay, let's take a look at one that's maybe a little bit more tricky. Let's say we had 2 minus 1/3 plus 3/5. Now, first let's identify our common denominator. Now, 2 is a whole number, so remember we can write that as 2 over 1. So that has a denominator of 1. Our 1/3 here has a denominator of 3, and our 3/5 has a denominator of 5. Now if I take those and get my common denominator, I'm going to get a common denominator of 15. Next, I want to rewrite each of my terms with a denominator of 15. So if I take 2 over 1, I know that 2 over 1, well, what's 1? 1 times what is going to give me 15? That's going to be times 15 over 15. That will give me 30 over 15. Let's take our next number. Here we have negative 1/3. Negative 1/3. Now, 3 times what number will give me 15? That's going to be 5. So I times the top by 5 and the denominator by 5. That'll give me negative 5 over 15. And lastly, I have 3/5. And I think, okay, 5 times what gives me 15? Well, that's going to be 3. So I do times 3 on the top, times 3 on the bottom. That's going to give me 9/15. So now I have everything, all my equivalent fractions written as common denominators. So let's take those and rewrite our problem. So here, instead of 2, we're going to have 30 over 15. Instead of 1/3, we're going to have minus 5/15. And then instead of 3/5, we'll have 9/15. So now if we add up all these numerators on top, we're going to have 30 minus 5, that gives us 25. And 25 plus 9, that's going to give us 34. So we're going to have an answer of 34 over 15. And there we go.